SSP TV and the Hazleton Standard Speaker present Good Sports with Dave and Ken.
Welcome to another Good Sports podcast, Good Sports with Dave and Ken. He's Dave Seaman, Standard Speaker Sports Editor. I'm Ken Kara, Sports Director at SSP TV, and very happy to be joined by Joe Boretsky, who is the head coach for the Hazleton area golf programs, both boys and girls. You have a very hectic fall every year, Coach, but you keep doing it. You have to be proud of these programs, how they're growing. Another successful year for both the boys and the girls.
Yeah, it's been a great year. A lot of kids came out this year. Not only did we have the boys and girls program, but we also had the JV program. Total of 26 student athletes. So it's been a good year.
I might ask you this all the time, but I mean, people might see the numbers and the success Hazleton is having. What happened? I mean, is it your tutelage? I mean, part of it. I mean, how has the program exploded and had this? How do you try to explain it?
It has nothing to do with me. It's all the kids. I mean, quite honestly, it's a community event. We're very proud of the golf community. Everybody's rallied around it. First thing we did when we came in is just to try to give the golf program some recognition. We wanted to brand ourselves as a quality sport in the school system, and we wanted to make it fun for people, and more importantly, wanted to make it accessible. So we wanted to make it accessible to kids that normally would not have that. We were able to partner up with the local golf courses, Edgewood and the Pines, Valley, Sugarloaf, Sand Springs. They all support us very well. In addition to that, it's the junior program. The USGL has given the program a little jump start, and Mr. Provost is doing a great job with that program, and it is a nice feeder program for us.
And we actually did a feature on the USGLL on a show we do out of left field on SSP TV. We did a round of golf with them, so you could check out that program. It's on our website, ssptv.com, so you can find out what that program is all about. Before we jump into everything, we're with the girls team today. Let's talk about the boys a little bit. You had two guys go out they qualified for districts, right? So they had some success there. Boys team did very well as well. Just go back to the season a little bit. Yeah. Tell us how the guys did.
The girls usually get a lot of the press, but our boys program the last 2 years have been very, very solid. We've won our division, our conference, our division in conference. Our scoring average is down to right around 81. So scoring average is being good, and we had a number of kids qualify for district. 6 qualify for the district tournament. We had nobody advance to regionals this year, but again, only losing two in Brian Bartles, three. Jack Oswald. Next year, we're looking really, really strong as a contender next year for the entire conference. So I'm very proud of the boys.
And you have the girls right behind us. I think this is only, year 3 for the program? I mean, to be talking about a state run last year, and then you're in the States now. I heard you and Dave talking some business before. So do we know now that you guys are into the state tournament as a team?
Yes, as of Monday, we were fortunate enough to qualify through the sub-regionals to qualify for the state tournament. So we'll be one of 6 people, 6 schools out there representing the Hazleton area. So we're excited.
I saw you before the season, and you said, we have some really big competition, Ken, coming in this year against the girls team. Watch out for these matches. How do you think it went? I mean, you played some great schools, I think, out of Philadelphia, and you played some powerhouses.
Yeah, it was purposely done. The scheduling was purposely done that our kids saw the best of the best in the States. We traveled out to State College. We saw the best out there. A lot of teams coming from the Pittsburgh area, Erie area. We traveled down to Philadelphia to play Mount St. Joseph's. They've been in the state tournament every year. We played them a home and away. We're able to split with them. And then we were down in the Hershey area playing all of those teams in District 3. And it was a good experience to see where we are and what we can do this coming week.
I might mispronounce someone's name here, but since this program began, and please correct me if and when I do, but I remember Marin Dreamock being there since the beginning. I think Isabella Ritz, as well as Grace Babinchak, and is it Olivia Meisowitz?
That's correct.
I've talked to them several times. They had a lot of success again this year, but I thought you so beautifully said in the Standard Speaker, listen, we have a full roster of young women who have been competing and who have done very well this year. I mean, could you just talk about some of the other players?
Most definitely. The depth of the program is what makes the program so good. I mean, it's starting the original four are the original four. We try not to call
That's
them
where
the
it started,
original
right? Though it was they were on the original team. Okay.
Yeah, we try not to call them the original four because we've had a little. We want to make sure that everybody's it's an inclusive. But we, as you can see behind us, it's all competition. Everything is competition. It's always, you can't run from your score. You can't hide. So it is all those competition. Is what creates spots. It's not who you know or what you think or what's your potential. It's what you did. So that was potential. Jenna Kubitz, Natalie Tahansky, Isabella Sirach. Madalena Fisher, I might be missing somebody. They're the core. They're the people that are coming up, and they're the ones that are making everybody better. So, we're really unsure of, after the top 3 spots, who's going to be representing us in the state tournament. So that we're in a really good situation going in the states because we get to choose between 8 girls.
How does that work? Yeah, you really don't know who you're going to pick yet until. How does that work?
Well, coaches and I, Coach Tunison, Coach Koval and I, we put together an entire schedule. We do different drills. You see a drill behind us, but we'll do competition around greens, what you score in 18 holes, and it's all accumulated total of all of those scores. And somebody can have a bad day, good day, but there's a lot of analytics to it. We put a lot of analytics into it to make sure that we're making sure that we're giving everybody the best possibility. So that's why we do it.
Where are we time frame wise? So we're recording this October 9th, and you guys have what's first? Are you guys going to have teams coming up first and then individuals, or where are we at?
So today's October 9th, October 13th, I guess, on Christopher Columbus Day, we're going out to Golden Oaks. We'll have 2 girls, Grace Babinchak and Isabella Ritz, will be competing for an individual chance to advance to states. They're going to regionals. The following Monday after that is the state tournament. Monday and Tuesday would be individuals. Wednesday is the team event that we're going to. So that's the schedule.
So you had 3 girls from districts, 1, 2, 3, I believe, right there, which is incredible in and of itself. But what's it like watching them, pushing each other, competing against each other, but pushing each other? Ultimately, it goes to a
and
playoff.
Best friends too.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. You see them getting along. I see them interact with each other. I mean, it's incredible. What's it like as a coach?
I think that day probably was the most emotional day for me because I told them right up front, I said, the greatest thing is my ultimate goal is to see 3 of you come in first, second, and third. The hardest thing is going to see somebody not advance. And that was very difficult. Marin had an unbelievable senior year. And for her to come up short, she didn't play. That was the worst round she played all year. And hey, that's golf, and I felt bad for her. But, the first thing, Marin Class Act went right up to the other 2, Grace and Isabel. And it was unbelievable. And for them to get to a playoff and whatever, I was very proud of them.
Have you been happy with how they've handled the pressure of expectations now? All of a sudden it was, okay, you're the program that could the first year, and then all of a sudden you make more noise than this year. I feel there were some expectations there and they also set high goals. They said, we want to get out the states, we want to place. Yeah,
kind of interesting. This year's probably been the least amount of pressure because we've done it.
Okay.
So now we've done it. Everybody knows the drill. It's not new to us. So the fact that it's not new, I think they expect more of themselves. I expect more of myself. The coaches expect more. We're not competing against anybody except ourselves, and we can handle that pressure. And I feel that this and all the girls that help in the competition now in practice may be tougher than the competition when we go face them. So it's kind of interesting.
Have you gotten better as a coach? From year one, I mean, do you feel you've changed at all, or have you learned? Have you progressed?
Yeah, I think I changed a little. I mean, listen, we all change. Girls are a little older, the relationships change. They have different things. Yeah, I've changed. I probably am not as stressed out as I was early on. Things are going to happen. You see the highs, the lows, and I tend not to watch the girls as much as I used to the first couple of years because I'm like, listen, it is what it is. There's nothing we can do about it.
Hey, talk about that experience that you had last year. How much is that? I mean, it's pushing in the schedule, but like going back there, saying, "Hey, we've been here before." How does that help?
Well, that's the whole thing. I mean, the coaches and I talked about that, about how we prepared last year, and when we got there, and what we did when we got there, and it just was all new. So obviously now this year. Our schedule is set in stone. The girls know what to expect. That's really all I can tell you.
Last thing I really want to ask you is I remember when I did the stories, year 1 and then year 2 on the girls team, the girls were talking about, hey, we want more people to come out and start doing this. It seems like the message was getting out there. I mean, you feel the numbers and keep this thing going.
So, there's 8 girls here. We have 1 in our JV program. Looks like we're going to have 3 come in next year. So we're losing 3, coming 3. It's just like college athletics, you just got to replace it every year, and we just got to replace it. And that's what we're doing, and that's what we do. I thank the standard speaker, the media, because if we keep it front and center as a quality sport, and we put in the extra effort to make it a good, exciting for the kids, that's what'll keep kids coming out and being part of the team.
Listen, I was a soccer player. I love soccer, but how can you beat this view on a fall day like this? And it sounds like a great opportunity for the student athletes. So if you're interested, get involved. And Coach, that's all I have for Coach Dave. You got anything else?
No, I just want to wish you a lot of luck. I mean, he's been very accommodating to us. He's on our payroll actually, helping us out. A lot of meets we can't get to or matches we can't get to, and Coach has been very accommodating with his little quotes and along the way, and he goes over and above to help us out.
Yeah, I know he's sitting here right now, but I do want to compliment him, along with all of our local coaches. We talk about this a lot, the time that you got, men and women, give to the student athletes, along with having jobs and other lives. But I mean, just texting back and forth with you and you being like, oh, well, I'm at a boys meet today, and then we have a girls meet tomorrow, and then we have practice here. So we appreciate always the
And this
time
isn't a 2-month of sport either.
Yes.
I mean, you're playing throughout the whole summer and before that in spring.
We appreciate the time here today. And
I appreciate the media from the Hazleton. I mean, SSP TV does a great job, and the standard speaker does a great job, so thank you.
Well, we appreciate it. Let's get into getting to know some of the athletes and talking to them now here with the Hazleton Area Lady Cougar Golf Program. Now joined by senior Marin Dreamock. Let's jump into some golf right here. You were a standard speaker athlete of the week earlier this year, and you and Dave were talking about this. You want to be a sports journalist.
I do.
So tell me a little bit. I mean, if you were analyzing the season so far, there's still some more to go. Tell me about the year so far. Break it down. How have things gone with the expectations? You're pretty much where you wanted to be as a team.
Right. I mean, honestly, winning the district championship for the 2nd year in a row was a great accomplishment as a team, and to show ourselves in this district, because a lot of our school sports have won district championships, so just to add to that list, it means a lot.
So this is your 2nd straight district championship as a team. And then what I thought was crazy, was it like this last year too? You go right from districts as a team to, was it the next day as the individual championships?
Actually, I think...
Was there a day in between?
The team districts was a day after our individual pre-districts.
Okay, so it's pre-district.
So then the next Monday was individual district championships. So it's weird. You're like flip-flopping in between individual and team play, and you have those 2 different mindsets of, okay, you want yourself to move on, and then you want your team to move on.
How is that mentally? I think golf is such a mental game to begin with, but all of a sudden you have these huge tournaments right near each other. Describe it. What's it like going through that? I mean, do you even pay attention to it, or just live through it and see what happens?
I think I try not to pay attention to it, but somewhere in the back of your mind, it's always there. Like, you have those 2 different mindsets, and it's kind of hard to transition in between one or the other, but since it's like the 2nd or 3rd year that I've done this, then it's almost second nature, but it's still in the back of your mind, definitely.
Senior year now, you guys started this program, seems crazy, only 3 years ago. Is this kind of what you expected? Is this the ride you thought you would be on? Is it this many, red shirts behind us? Is this what you saw that first year?
No, not at all. Seeing the 4 girls I thought was enough for me almost, but then the interest just grew and so much came out of that.
Why do you think that was? Where do you think the numbers kind of stem from? Was it the success you had, the USGLL? Was it a bunch of things? Was you guys selling it in school? If you did that?
That might have been it. I think just spreading it to our friends and people who we knew just golfed leisurely. Like at Sugarloaf, we had this program called the Gophers when we were really, really little, that we all just went out and played 9 holes or like 6 holes or something like that. And I think everybody really just got involved from that, and then we convinced them to actually just come out from the team because it's fun.
So
it's worth it.
You were a Gopher?
I was a Gopher.
Do you have a memory from being a Gopher? Do you have a fond memory of those days?
I remember it was me, Jessie McClellan, who plays for MMI, and then one of her friends from MMI, Maddie Dreyfus, and then another one, Bailey Slesser. We all used to go out every Monday night.
Were you guys always that good? Even back then?
I think we were pretty good.
I was going to say, it's a pretty good group.
I think we were pretty solid.
Yeah. That's impressive. Every season, no matter what you're doing, I have ups and downs at work. I'm sure with sports, there's ups and downs in a season. So far, what pops up in your mind that you're very proud of from this season, also something that you're going to use to learn from as you go on in your career?
I'm definitely proud of our growth as a team, because there were so many girls that have improved so much since even last year and the beginning of this year. And I'm just proud of how hard that everybody worked and that how far we've come from the first year that we've done this. And something I could definitely improve on is just my own mental game, is just putting other things aside and focusing on one thing at a time. Because missing the regional cut for the second year in a row kind of stings, but it makes it a lot better definitely when you realize that with your team you're going to states.
How do you put that, I mean, just mentally or senior now aside and say, I have a team tournament now to conconcentrate on, and like you said, is that part of the things you're working on, is moving that now in the back and being
that's
able
exactly
to move
what
on?
I'm just trying to think of, just because it'll be my last match ever of high school golf.
And when you say other things, are you talking about just golf things, or is that just other things in life too? Because obviously you have
in general, just things in general, because sometimes your mind gets very clouded on the golf course, because it's not like basketball or football where you're constantly moving and thinking of plays. It's you have time in between your shots, so other things tend to pop up that it's just like, why are you thinking of this? Like, get it out of there.
I don't think I've ever taken a golf shot with a clear head. I would love to do that. Did you ever see Legend of Bagger Vance? Which is this,
I don't know.
it's a
I don't
great
think
golf
so.
movie with Will Smith, and I think Matt Damon's in it, but there's this great moment, and I actually used it in a story once, where he gets in this zone, and just the way they edited it in the movie, just like everything clears up, and all the people disappear, and he takes this like clear-minded shot, and I was like, I would like to just feel that once in life, be it on the golf course or somewhere else.
Good luck with that.
Yeah.
I would definitely love to do that. That's my goal.
But you talk about the disappointment of not making regionals. I think everything we needed to know about you was a picture. Bob Quintano does a great job with our pictures. Took a picture of you giving Grace a big hug after that too, and you could tell you were sincere. Yeah, you're disappointed inside, but you're feeling just as much pride when you see your teammates move on.
Yeah.
Talk about that.
I think that's just the kind of player that I am. I've always been a team person. I've always played team sports growing up, so it's just always been a part of me to feel that love for my friends and my teammates, because she is my best friend. Like, she's more than just a teammate to me. So to see her succeed and move on, it means the world to me as well.
What other team sports did you play?
I played soccer, baseball, basketball, and up until freshman year, actually. Freshman year was the last year I played basketball. And I actually danced too, so it was weird. That's a team. That's a team. So
I as you look at this program, and as you still obviously have something big coming up, but I mean, senior year, as you look back a little bit, are you proud of what the four of you were able to establish here at the Hazleton Area High School? And as maybe you graduate, you look back, and maybe even if years from now, you'll be like, wow, we started this.
Yeah, absolutely. And I still remember that story that you did on us about the pioneer. That was awesome.
Thank you guys for doing that. We ran the Oregon Trail, and I'll actually show some video of that, because that's one of my favorite stories ever. It's been a pleasure covering you guys. You guys have been so much fun. Thank you so much. Questions for teammates. You're going to get into sports journalism as we talk with kind of Grace and Isabel. What should we be asking them? What should we know about them?
Stuff on the record, please.
Yeah, stuff we could put on camera.
Okay. I would ask them their favorite music to listen to, like before a game or before a match. Definitely some van talk. I would touch on that a little bit.
Why don't you hang out, and I'm going to jump out of this seat, and you can just introduce the segment in that, and we'll let you take care of that. There was someone else on the Hazleton area softball team. Was it Mackenzie Uri? I forget who it was, but one of them wanted to go for, it might have been a Tribal Peace sister. One of them wanted to go into journalism, and I used to just go to a softball practice, and I would just give them the mic and be like, okay, more, I'm done, and they did a great job. So we'll do that with Marin. I did read in the Standard Speaker, your favorite food is pizza, yes. So I wanted to ask you the toughest question here, but what is your favorite pizza in the Hazleton area? There's so many good ones.
Might not be Hazleton area. But
okay, from somewhere, yeah.
Freeland, Sorrento's Pizza.
Nice, okay.
All-time favorite pizza. Oh my God.
Like just a plain slice from Sorrento's?
I'm going to date myself here, but I've been in Sorrento's with her father. We went to school together, so
I like that.
That's been a long time.
Plain Sorrento's pizza. The best pizza ever. And I would not trade it for anything,
I'll
ever.
have to try that. Do you know where you're going? Are you going to college? Like, is that your plan?
Yes,
Trade,
it is
college?
my plan.
Okay.
I've been looking in a lot of places, but I really like Eastern University. It's a small Christian school in St. David's near Philly. And the golf coach is really cool. It's such a good program. They play at St. David's Country Club, which is a beautiful course. And
near
their facilities
Villanova,
there.
It's near Villanova, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, near Villanova, correct.
So you're concerned about golf and education. That's great. I was worried about the pizza for you, because I'll tell you what, I'm very Penn State proud, but there was not a good pizza place. I don't feel bad saying, but there wasn't a good pizza place I found out in State
That's surprising.
Honestly, yeah, that was
surprising.
like home.
Highway
I
pizza.
feel we're spoiled
Yes,
in our
yes.
area.
Yeah.
Dave, we'll talk about this more later. Well, Marin's going to hang out. We'll have her talk with a few of her teammates, but let's get to know them right now.
All right, everybody, I am back with one of my favorite teammates, Olivia Meisowitz. Olivia, you are a junior, correct?
Yes.
And Olivia, how has your experience been on the past 3 years? of your
It's
high
been
school golf career?
good. When I heard that they were starting like a girls team, like me walking in and seeing like all the boys and then seeing like 2 other girls and then Isabel coming in with me, I was like, we're gonna start a girls team. It's sad that it's gonna be over in like a little bit, but
Do you have a favorite memory from this year?
I think there's just so many, like with everybody. I know that freshman year, when we first started out, when it was just the original 4 of us, we had this little minivan, and it was a
Talking about
minivan.
van stories. Here we go.
Yeah,
Didn't take
there
long.
was a minivan that we'd all take. We would cram into. There was 2 seats, and we would have Grace and Marin in the front, and me and Isabel in the back, and we would just talk about everything. There was a bubble in the steering wheel, like it was touching our coach's head.
I guess like where the fabric like dipped
Yeah.
down and there was like air from the top of it just stuck in there where the air conditioning vent was. We call it the bubble of secrets. I remember that very, very
So
vividly.
after like every single match, we would, I don't know, like it would be so quiet when we were going to the match, and then we were undefeated that year. So every single time we went home, we would gossip. I don't know, just talk about
Yeah.
everything, I guess.
And then I remember the day that we lost the district championship, that bubble was not filled whatsoever.
We were
It
very,
was
very
not.
silent on the
We
way
were
home.
silent, absolutely. So Olivia, have you felt some self-improvement over these past couple years with your game?
I definitely have. I mean, I aim to like improve each year, and I mean, like, you go through rough patches of times where you're like, could have shot less than what I shot. You regret shots all the time, but I mean, that's golf.
Absolutely.
You come back for more.
How much you guys watch golf? Like, do you watch a lot of golf?
Well, we actually, our boys team, a lot of the times we go and watch them play like different teams when they have teams come here, or we go there, but not really on the TV. I don't watch a
No,
lot.
not professionally?
No.
Oh, I do.
Who's your
I
favorite
do.
golfer?
Justin Thomas.
Do you watch it whenever it's on? I mean, you have a golf channel on 24/7.
Yes. My sister gets really mad at me if I have Golf Channel on all the time, which I do. So she gets a little mad. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Go practice for states.
Yeah, actually,
Okay,
what
good
I'm
luck.
supposed to be doing.
Yeah. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Touch.
How'd Marin do? As
I think
a
she did
journalist, how do you
good.
think she has a bright future in this?
I'm sad that they're leaving, but I know that they're both going on to better things.
Yeah, it's good. You guys been around, I mean,
Yeah.
for a while. How is coming up with some of the new players now as you integrate them into the program, make them feel a part of it? I mean, how's all that going as you're
Yeah.
going to be looking forward to next year and the years after?
Yeah, I mean, we're really sad that all the seniors are leaving because, like, that was the original 4 that started the team. But, like, there's so much more talent coming in for me and Isabel to, like, have girls that we can go out and play 9 with on the weekend. And
Are you impressed by the level of talent that's coming in? I mean, it's one thing just to bring people in and say,
Yeah.
okay, our roster is here, but are you impressed by what they've actually been able to
yeah,
do on the course?
I think a lot of the girls starting out, they really, like, some of them have never picked up a club before. So, like, seeing the improvement over the 2 years or the year that they've been with us, like, it's a big improvement, and they're taking things seriously, and they want to improve, and they want to, like, become better. They want to win. They want to, like, they're hungry for a win.
When we first talked 2 years ago now, and you were
Yeah.
really getting it, you were the younger of the two of them, right? By a year or 2 years?
Yeah, by a
ju-
year.
by
Me
a
and
year.
Isabel came in at the same time.
Got you. Okay. How do you feel you've improved since then? What are you most proud of to say, hey, I've improved this much here, and this is what I'm really proud of?
I don't know. I think just everywhere. Like, I aim to play smart now. I used to make risky shots and take, like, oh, I can definitely get her on this tree, and then the ball smack back 100 yards, and I have to go hit it from there. And, like, I guess just less shots that I regret taking out on the golf course.
What made you start doing that, playing a little less risky? Was it
I
someone
just-
talking to you, or is it just like, you know
Yeah.
what, I'm sick of the 9 times
had-
out of 10 it coming back at me?
Yeah. A lot of the times, like, we have really healthy competition between the girls, and it's like I saw everybody improving, everybody losing strokes, and I'm like, well, I want to be that. Like, I want to get my score down, and I want to start taking it really seriously now. And, like, it's my junior year. I only have 1 year left. We only have a couple matches left with the girls, so I'm like, I want to be improving, so for next year, we have a good start for the season.
Nice.
Hey, you talk about going into the state tournament too. How much was that like an eye opener last year when you get there? Like you go there eyes wide open, but now you have that experience this year. How much is that?
I mean, when we first got there last year, we come from a small town, like we've said before. We don't really see like a lot of teams from around here, and we don't really play a lot of the girls that play in states. So when we got there, we're like, all right, we're gonna do good. We're gonna improve. Like, we made it here so far. We're going into it with a great mindset, and then getting there to see like all the talent out there. It's like, wow, there's other girls that are out here like 24/7 on the putting greens, chipping and doing all of that, and like that's their life is that.
So you guys saw the standard last year. If we're gonna place, if we're gonna try to win, this is what we have to do.
Definitely. And when last year, like when we expected more from last year, but of course you're gonna have bad days, and unfortunately, some of us had a bad day that day, and we didn't do as well as we hoped to. But it was an eye opener because now we know what we have to do. We have to focus on different types of things when we're going there now. Spend more time on the greens. We're doing more practice matches there, so we're a little bit more prepared for it this year.
All right. Well, Olivia, thank you so much. That's all I have for you, Dave. You're good too?
We're good to go.
Well, we appreciate it. Good luck as you guys go out there. Appreciate it.
Thank you
for having me.
Very good.
Grace Babinchak joins us right now, another senior on the Hazleton Area High School Lady Cougar golf team. Grace, outstanding year for you and the team as well. You win the individual championship, District 2 AAA. I mean, just what's that feeling like? I mean, to go out there, I mean, against great competition and getting great competition from your teammates. I mean, what was that experience like?
I mean, when I made it last year, the whole concept in my mind was just, move on to the next level. Coach always tells us just survive to the next level. But winning it was never really in my mind. It was kind of just always advance to the next level. So when I won it, it wasn't really a big surprise because I knew the hard work that I put in. But it kind of was a surprise because of the playoff hole that happened. So yeah, it was awesome.
How much in golf? I mean, golf just seems like one of those sports. I think that word survive just seems to maybe sum things up perfectly. Is that what it's like sometimes? Like just survive
Yes.
this hole, just survive this round.
That's every bus ride to pre-districts, districts, states, just survive out there. That's the only thing we say.
I guess because, I mean, there's so much that could happen, and there's so much that could happen in a round. I went over the article, your description of the playoff hole that I read in the Standard Speaker, where you said it was great. You had one of the farthest drives that you've ever had, and the next shot was close to the hole, and then you three-putted, and that was awful. And I just like the emotions in that hole right there. You had a lot of them in one playoff hole.
Yeah, Joey, when he went into a playoff to move on to districts.
And that's Joey Robarczyk?
Yeah, Joey Robarczyk. He bombed his first putt, and coach was like, oh, that he shouldn't have done that. So when I'm walking up to the green, I'm like, all right, I'm just going to lag it to the hole. Ended up hitting it past the hole, and then I three-putt. So it was kind of like oh, good drive, good second shot, and then I three-putt. So
that's the nature of golf, though. I mean, golf is so up and down.
I know.
Talk about that aspect of it, how you got to keep that even keel.
Yeah, I still work on that today, keeping a positive mindset even when I hit bad shots, because I'll hit a bad drive and I'm like, all right, I'm going to get a 6 on this hole now, I'm going to get a 7. And I have to kind of rewire my brain to be like, no, you can up and down this, you can up and two-putt this for a 5. It's consistently every hole I have to think that.
And you see the outcome of what happened in that playoff hole. You eventually win that hole. And I remember it was MMI's Jessica McClellan one day, who we've talked about already, who told me that. She said, I had to get that mindset of, you could still win this. Like, okay, just that one bad putt or whatever. I mean, I could still go out there and win it. Now, you were up against one of your teammates, Isabel Ritz, as you guys are going through the playoff hole. I mean, I'm sure, I don't know if you talked during the hole, but after it and everything, what are the conversations like?
We were talking during the hole. After we hit our drives, we fist bumped each other because we both knew we made it. So it was really just
Happy
lighthearted.
for each other. Yeah, you're both into, what is it? Was it to regionals at this point? Yeah.
We were both into it already. And the hole, we were kind of just giving ourselves like good shots. All right, just put this on the green. You're okay. You can get this out. It was a very positive hole for being a playoff hole to win districts.
That's exciting. You were also an Athlete of the Week in the Standard Speaker Read Them. I learned so much about the athletes on and off the field and course, because I found out competitive dance was in your background, and this is something. Talk about that a little bit. When did you start this? When did you?
I started it when I was 3 or 4, and it was kind of just like little dances that you do for recitals and all that kind of stuff. But then I recently joined Anna Marie School of Dance and that was, I think, 6 or 7 years ago. And since then, we have gone to competitions and competed dance, and that is like a completely different level of dancing that I didn't know about. So, yeah, I've been doing that for a long time.
What is it, like jazz? Or are you doing tap? Or are you doing
all of it?
Are you doing everything?
Everything.
Do you have a favorite form? Or no, you just love it all?
I love it all. I can't pick one.
My wife is a dancer. That's why I'm asking all these in-depth questions, because I want to do on our Out of Left Field show, eventually I'd like to go cover a competitive dance event, because it's an interesting world, and I mean, it's a lot of hard work, I'm assuming. Yeah. This season as a team, you guys had the expectations. Coach said this year was, since you were there last year as a team at States, he said this year he felt maybe even a little bit smoother is what he said, since you knew what to expect and what you were up against. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, last year we went with kind of just like, all right, we made it. Let's just play and see what happens. But now we know the competition there this year. We know what the holes look like. We know what the course looks like. We figured out what we needed to practice since last season. So now we have improved on those, and we're kind of hoping to make a bigger statement at region or states, at states.
Senior year this year, how much fun have you had with this group? We keep talking about Bob Gaetano, photographer with the Standard Speaker. I think you got a great shot of you guys with the district championship trophy. There was like a serious one, and then there's ones where you can really see the personality in everybody, and it just seems like everyone's enjoyed this so much. Have you guys really enjoyed it all?
Yeah, every time like I spend the day with these girls or play golf with these girls, like I think that I can't get much closer because we're so close, but then we always find a way to just get closer. We know so many things about each other. We know how we play golf. We know what we do outside of golf. We've just become so close over these past couple of years.
Do you feel the program's in good shape to continue, not just with numbers, but the coach has talked about there's some talent with these numbers too, that once you guys graduate, this program should be in good hands?
I would think so, yeah. We know some girls that are coming up from middle school, and they probably have friends that golf, and we can get some girls that are at least interested in golf and teach them some of the basics, so hopefully it grows from there.
Can you talk about your background in golf too? You were part of the USGLL for
Yeah.
a long time. You talk about doing dances at a young age too. How much has that youth program helped golf in this area?
USGLL.
Yeah.
I was on the driving range one time, and Bill Moore came up to me and he was like, just shorten your backswing, and I did. And since then, my irons have been pretty good. It helps with, it teaches like smaller kids, so it helps with pace of play. Learning that is really important. It helps with just basic terminology for golf. It helps you when you're on the greens, how to interact with other golfers. It just teaches you the basic techniques of golf, which is really important, because sometimes I'll go out there and it takes 6 hours, and that is not okay.
You talk about how close you are to your teammates and everything too. You and Isabel both making it onto regionals, but then Marin doesn't make it to regionals. Yeah, you're feeling her disappointment too. How much was
it? Tears me up just thinking about it, because as soon as Isabel came up to me and she said, I got goosebumps. As soon as she came up to me and she said that Marin had a 90 and we both had an 89, I felt like I'm getting chills. Like my heart just it felt like it stopped for a second. And then as soon as I saw Marin come up to me, we both just started bawling our eyes out, and I hugged her, and she said she was proud of me. And honestly, there is nobody on this team that deserves it more than Marin. She has worked so hard during this season, and for her to not make it to her goal was heartbreaking.
You learn from these situations in life, and that she plans to go on and play in college. Do you have plans? I mean, is college in the future? What are you planning on do post high school?
I'm planning on playing golf in college. I mean, it's not like I want to be a professional golfer someday, but I definitely want to continue it in college, and also learn academically as well. So it's trying to find a school that has that balance between academics and golf, I guess. So
do you know what you want to do? Like what you want to study, or is that still
forensic science?
Really? What got you into that?
A lot of crime shows.
Okay. I was going to say a lot of TV,
crime
a lot of
Netflix.
marathons,
a lot of Law and Order.
Is there a best one? Is Law and Order like number one?
I like Criminal Minds and then Law and Order, but yeah, a lot of that.
Are you that type of person who's watching like a show or something? If you are at a movie, you're figuring things out and you're
I like to like rewatch shows and then try to see like, oh, that's where they got that from, or like, oh, that's a hint that happened, and like I like rewatching them and figuring that kind of stuff out.
Well, Grace, thank you so much. Good luck as you continue on, as you get ready for, I mean, it's got to be hectic for you right now, practice. You have individual states coming
this
up.
This week
you
is so hectic.
How would you describe it to somebody? If I said, how's your week going? How would you truthfully answer me?
It's insane. Like, I wish I could just have like 2 hours of just like pause time and just chillax for like 2 seconds, because there's like today there's meetings for school, and then there's golf practice, and then I have to go back to the high school for a meeting, and tomorrow is work, and then the next day is going down to Heritage Hills, and it's just plus schoolwork, and it's just
What do you do to relax through all this? Do you put on a music? Oh, that is one thing.
Crime show.
Yeah, crime show.
Crime show. I actually.
What does relax you?
I am 110% obsessed with sunflower seeds.
Okay.
If I just go home and eat sunflower seeds and just sit down and do nothing else, it relaxes me. Or play with my dog, but that's the main thing.
It's really interesting. I'm glad we do this podcast, the things we learn. Well, thank you so much, Grace, again, and especially because you just told us how busy you are. We appreciate your time today on the podcast. Thank you so much, and good luck. Isabel Ritz joins us right now, junior on the Hazleton area high school Lady Cougar golf team. Finished second in the District 2 AAA individual championships, won the team championship with the team, of course. Congratulations on that. And Dave, you wanted to lead off. You said you have a question for Isabel. Let me go.
It's not really a question. It's
Okay.
really my best memory is Isabel this summer. She's the PA announcer down at Valley West Little League. She did a great job. That's his now batting, the center fielder, my brother. I loved it.
Yeah, it was his last bat as a little leaguer, and it was his last time actually playing baseball because he's going to do track in the spring.
Oh, no kidding.
That was a big
Who's your
moment.
brother?
Franklin Ritz.
Franklin Ritz, who had a very good, Little League career and a great tournament. And so is that your connection down? Did you play Little League?
I did not. I didn't play baseball at all. When Franklin started minor league, I started volunteering to get hours for National Junior Honor Society. And I guess I never stopped. So every summer I do the All-Star tournament down there and then the sectional tournament in July.
Did a great job.
Here's the thing, too. Valley West takes their Little League baseball very seriously. And to be the voice of it, is also a very serious thing. So that's pretty cool to know. Thank you. That's pretty neat. On the golf course this year, a lot of success. You guys have had success in the past. But how would you, I don't say compare and contrast, but for the previous 2 seasons, what made this season a little bit different? What makes this year different? Was it different?
This season was surreal for me. I never thought I would have the opportunity to be in contention in the district tournament, let alone place. And it was very unique because this is our last year with the seniors, Grace and Marin. And I've known Marin since I was 5 years old, and she's made such an impact in my life that she really, being through this all with my team, it's brought us all so close that I could never trade that relationship for anything. And it's going to be hard next year without them.
As you're going to the end of the district individual tournament, and like you said, and I don't know if you're looking at scores or you're doing whatever, when was the point when you're like, all right, this is I'm there, like this is, I could place, I could make it?
Well, I was in a group with Marin and 2 other girls from a different school, and then Grace was the group behind us.
Okay.
So I was down 2 strokes through with 6 holes to go. So I was nervous because I knew that I was so close that I could do it, but I didn't know how close I was to Grace or if there were people in that group that could potentially be ahead of the people in our group. So going into the last hole, knowing I was 1 stroke ahead of Marin and the other girls, it was very nerve-wracking because the feelings inside, it's something you can't explain until you get there because it's interesting. Like you want your teammate to do well because you know that she's 1 stroke behind you, but at the same time you want to do well for yourself. And so you're rooting for everybody and you don't know who to root for the most, and it's very hard.
That's going to be a lot of emotions. Just dealing with the emotions of I want to succeed.
In a matter of 10 minutes, too, or 10 minutes. It's not like you have time to let it sink in either.
You have to be proud of the way you handle that situation and to get out of it. I'm sure it's a growing experience too. Once you live through something like that, I'm sure it changes you a little bit.
Definitely.
And speaking of that, going into states this year as a team, can you talk about balancing confidence also with wanting to go there and get the job done? Knowing you're a good team, but also being let's get the job done. Do you feel like you guys can get the job done this year?
I definitely feel like we can. We've all developed so much as a team, especially some of our sophomores coming up. Isabel Sriracha has showed so much improvement. And with the 4 originals, the juniors and seniors that are coming back, I feel like we're in contention this year. We have a chance to do it, but right now my concern is first regionals, hoping that maybe I can qualify as an individual and a team, so then I have both. But I would love to see our team do well because that is all I can ask for.
I follow the Hazleton Area Recreation Program on Facebook, and I think I mentioned this in the story I did with you guys last year, but I see the girls golf team on there a lot in the off season. They're there in the gym really working hard. Can you put into words how much hard work goes in all year round for what you guys are able to do on the golf course in the fall?
Definitely. We used to twice a week, sometimes 3 times, we would go in on a Saturday morning. We would work with Dave Minig, and he had us doing all different types of exercises that pertain to golf itself, and we would work out with the baseball team because it's very interconnected. And so we would do a lot of core strengthening. We'd also do a lot of leg power because golf relies on those muscles, and without that training I can guarantee that I would not be in the shape I am, and it would be very hard to maneuver around the golf course without that training.
Did you guys become Cougar baseball fans there? There's a little connection between the two programs.
Of course, yeah, of course.
That's a lot of fun. When Marin was here, because we let her, host a little bit, she wants to get into sports journalism. She said you should ask Isabel or Grace about what music they listen to get kind of pumped up. So let me ask that question. What are you listening to as you're getting pumped up or getting ready for a round?
Well, Marin and we both are big rock and roll fans.
Okay.
So I will go anywhere from Nirvana to Jackson Browne to a little bit of James Taylor just to mellow me out when I'm on an adrenaline rush. And I'll even go with some current stuff that has been remade. So covers by like REM of Aerosmith and things like that. I just love anything rock and roll.
That's awesome. What Nirvana song should I listen to on the way home? I'm looking for a new Nirvana song to get into.
Pump you up for the Penn State game?
Yeah, maybe that's what it is, yeah.
I honestly...
Give me a song to pump me up. If I want to get pumped up for
any
something.
song, I would have to go Start Me Up. Okay. Definitely.
And now give me a song to calm me down.
Fire and Rain by James Taylor.
Okay.
That's my calm down song.
All right, very happy with that. As you look at where the program started and in these 3 years, I've asked this, I think I asked Grace this, I might ask Marin this too. Is this kind of what you guys expected, or is this beyond your wildest dreams of what, not just the success, but how many people are out here right now?
This is amazing to see how much the field has grown and to really go out and see what an improvement we've made. I know that I have improved 20 strokes myself. I've watched the younger girls improve so much that beyond any expectation we could have had for them. And even with Grace and Marin and Olivia, the four of us, we really improved together. And I don't think without the bond that we all share, we would have gotten there, because we relied on each other. If someone was going well in short game and someone was going well in long game, we would all work together to help the others improve. So it really was a group effort.
You talk about being in shape. I'll go back to that a little bit. I remember we did a story on your grandfather jogging between golfing and everything. Did you ever try that, doing that with your grandfather?
I never did try the jog golf, as my grandfather calls it.
Does that mean jogging while you're playing around a golf?
He had the bag on his back and he would run 18 holes.
And he would play what, in 2 hours or
yes.
whatever, like a 2-hour round?
I have played with him 18 holes, and it is an experience you would never get anywhere else, because he is such a fast golfer, and as am I, and we would get 18 holes done in a solid 2 hours. We really would, because there's no effort put in. It's very effortless. We just talk about how our week was or anything like that, and we go out and play, because that's our way of connecting.
You beat him or not?
I have only tied him. We both shot in 83, and that was a very good round for me for that day. And the fact that he came in and he was like, "Oh, I shot in 83 too." I wish I would have beat him.
Did you think you had him?
I did. I really thought I had him. I've never beat him.
Well, Isabel, thank you. That's all I have. You have any other questions?
No, I just want to wish you a lot of luck.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you for doing this. And will you still be doing, Valley West base, you're still planning on being the voice of?
Definitely,
okay,
yes.
so after golf season, look out for Isabel down the valley in Cunningham. Natalie Tahansky joins us right now, another senior on the Hazleton Area High School Lady Cougar golf team. And Coach introduced you and the group of young women who came over with you as the comedians. Is that a title that you're proud of? Is there some truth to that title, or is he just messing around because the media's here today?
It's definitely some truth to that.
Yeah.
We always bring laughs to the team. It's just something, if someone's down or if we're playing a tough team, we like to cheer each other up and just move on to the next hole and always keep smiling.
I feel that would be very important in this sport, is to keep it light a little bit. I think even when we talked last year, you kind of mentioned that you were a little bit more relaxed, and that's you feel proud. That's kind of what you bring to the team.
Yes.
What's the funniest thing that happened this year that you could tell us about?
This year, my teammate over here, Jenna.
So Jenna will be talking to in a moment. Okay.
Yeah, we were practicing and she fell in a ditch. And with her clubs, and the cars were all laughing at her, and everyone on the team just started to laugh. And we always just crack jokes about each other. That's what keeps us all going.
You guys seem like a tight team. Am I right in saying that, like everybody, like from top to bottom, this is a fun group to be around?
Yes.
And what are you going to remember about this experience? Because if I remember, you came out for the team last year?
Yes.
First year, right?
Yes.
From last year to this year, do you feel like you've gotten to be a better golfer? Or?
Yes, I definitely learned a lot from my teammates, Grace and Marin. They've helped me so much. This is just a friendship that we all made, and I don't think I'll ever forget this team.
I was going to say, it seems from what I'm hearing from everyone, and I had a special experience with my soccer team in high school. I'm still very close to them, but it's like a once-in-a-lifetime thing. Like, you'd almost feel it even now, that this is something special that I'm a part of. Being able to be with how competitive has it been between everybody? I've heard there's some good golfers here. It's not just...
Yeah. It has been competitive, but we all just push each other to be the best we can. I know I really got a lot better from last year because they just pushed me to be the best.
What's one thing you're always going to remember, other than Jenna falling into the ditch, which we will talk about? What else are you going to remember from the season so far?
I would say at Fox Hill, which that was the first time I ever played at that course. Okay. It was very hard, and I played with Marin. And I was having a tough hole, but then the next hole, my coach came up to me and he was like, "You got to keep your hands in front." And then I parred that hole. It was like it just made me feel happy, so.
You know what? He took no credit for the success of this team.
No.
Coach was like, I have nothing to do with this. Does he deserve some of the credit for the good that's going on here?
He has helped me a lot, especially. He keeps me calm, and if I'm doing something wrong, he tweaks it and then it fixes it.
How much fun is he?
Oh, he's a lot of fun.
Well, we appreciate your time here today. Thank you so much. Should we bring Jenna on next? Is that what you would? Okay, Jenna, come on over. Let's talk about this. Jenna, I want to talk about your golf game because your coach did, but I feel we should hit on we should talk about the incident with the ditch and what happened here. Let's break this down.
So simple.
Yeah, it was
so we were walking back to the Valley Country Club range, and we were supposed to cross the street, but I went to the other side, and there was like a big ditch with a bunch of rocks. And I fell into it.
Is this a group where that's a fun thing? I scored 2 own goals in soccer that people still talk about, but I'm close to these people, and I'm like, I'm happy it made everyone else happy.
Oh, for sure.
Coach has referenced your name. I read in the newspaper, and also here today he talked about, what year are you in school? What grade are you in?
Sophomore.
And is this your first or second year on the team?
Second.
Okay. He said about your game really coming along. Do you feel that too, the improvement? Where do you think you've improved the most?
I think it's pretty collective, my improvement. I owe a lot of it to Joe. He's a good coach, and he puts his whole heart into it.
With the talent that is really from top to bottom on this team, but when you have golfers like Marin, Isabel, and Grace, how much does that push you to be like, this is the standard in this program, I want to get up there?
To see everyone improve so much since last year, it definitely makes you want to try harder. Grace being the district champion, it just sets the bar so much higher for the rest of us.
Is there pressure that comes with that, or is it just...
I wouldn't say pressure. I think more when Grace leaves, we all want to be able to fill those spots of Grace and Marin and Nat. So.
Sorry, Dave, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say that's just something, when you have a bar set that high, too, it just makes everybody play better, too. And not only when they see you guys, but now you have younger players, too, coming up through junior high, too. How much do you want to be a leader next year? How much do you see yourself as a leader?
Yeah, I hope to be a leader. We have one new girl on the team this year, and we all really try to get her in the group because we're all so close, and we hope to make everyone feel welcome and a part of the team.
Isabel Srirac. Dave, once again, you know Isabel's family. So
I know Frank very well. I went to school with Frank.
Why do I know Frank Srirac? Why do I know that name?
He's one of the best physical therapists we have in town, Frank.
What it is? Okay.
Yeah,
right.
Physical therapist, top sax player. I can go on with some other things we won't talk
Plays
about.
a saxophone?
3 bands.
Oh my! Do you play a musical instrument?
I used to play the saxophone, but not anymore.
No, can you break it out though right now and still be able to do something with it?
I don't think so.
No.
I played the ukulele though, and I sing.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
All right, so you're still doing those things.
Yeah.
That's pretty neat. Where do you do that? I mean, do you do
We have the local PTPA, the Pennsylvania Theater of Performing Arts. And I'm the youth representative there. So I take control of the kids, and I try to recruit kids to get into the theater.
So you do the plays there too?
Yes.
What's been a really cool role you've gotten to do there? What's something you really enjoyed doing there?
I was Jane Banks in Mary Poppins and Gabriella in High School Musical Junior.
I finally saw Mary Poppins for the first time this year. So Jane Banks, was that one of the who?
The kids, one of the kids, yeah.
Okay, absolutely. That's one thing I regret about high school. I wish I did plays. That would have been a lot of fun. Let's talk about golf, because that's why we're here. How did you get into golf? So what's your background then?
Well, both my parents play and both my siblings play, so I just kind of was born into it, I guess. And I didn't really like it until last year when I kind of started competitively and started getting much better at it. And this year I definitely improved a lot and have started to enjoy it a lot more, because it's hard when you're not very good and you're taking strokes and strokes and strokes, but with the help of others and just cheering you on, it just makes you feel good. So
does this group make it easy to fall in love with the sport too? I mean, they seem like they're a lot of fun. Everyone talks about getting along. Does it make it easier to like
Yeah,
golf?
It makes it a lot easier, because when you have a bad shot or a bad hole, everybody just laughs it off and continues to play well. And even if you have a bad day, somebody else is there who's done better than you. And it's good because you have that assurance that you still will have a good overall score. Just because you had a bad day, we're all so close in score that it doesn't really even matter. Like if you have 2 more strokes than the other girl, like it's not even a big deal because, you know, next time you might do better than them. And we don't even really make it like a competition that somebody has to beat somebody out because we're all friends and we all try to lift each other up.
Is your brother Frank Sirach?
Yes.
Is he a golfer?
Yes.
That's where it was. It was not your
Yes.
father. Yes. And he also at Hazleton area here. Yeah,
Yes.
that's where I know Frank from. Anything else for Isabel here?
Just, you know, I guess, like you said, you learn from your mom and your dad, and your mom is an outstanding golfer. You know, we've followed her. You know, she's in a lot of leagues. I know she plays in too, and I think she actually got your father into the game, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, she did. Yeah,
Yes.
my mom played as a little girl, and my dad started in college after he met my mom. So.
Family affair in the family. Well, thank you so much for your time, Isabel.
thank
We
you.
appreciate it. We have one more teammate. Come on
Yes.
over. Take a seat. Madalena Fisher with us right now, a sophomore at the Hazleton Area High School. So how did you get involved with this group of people, this very interesting group as I'm learning? How'd you get involved?
So me and Jenna started golfing like on the side, like just as a thing to do because we kind of like moved on from middle school sports. So we decided that we wanted to do a sport in high school. And so we picked up golf and then we were doing lessons with another guy and he had recruited us to Joe, and Joe was like, well, you guys should join the team, and we were like, I don't know. And then we started, like, we joined the team, and like we didn't really know, like we knew of the people on the team, but like we weren't really close with them. And then like as the year went on last year, everybody like got really close, and everybody's so nice, and they were like welcoming on the team. And like Natalie was new too, so she was like in the same boat as me and Jenna and Isabel together.
What were you doing in middle school? What sports were you doing?
I played everything. I did basketball, soccer, volleyball, track.
What were you the best at of all those sports?
Probably in 7th grade, I would say basketball because I started for basketball in 7th grade. And then 8th grade is when I picked up volleyball, and that was definitely my 8th grade sport.
What were you the worst at of all those sports? Was there one, or were you pretty even keel? You're pretty decent at everything.
Soccer was pretty bad, and I'm okay at track. It's all right.
When you first joined this team as you're looking for a sport, was there a moment when you were, because I don't know what your golfing background was, if you were really into it, but is it at a point now where you're like, I could excel in this sport. This is something I could be really good at?
Yeah, I definitely, especially because my dad, he always pushes me to do better, and like everybody on the team is always so encouraging, and they like think they're like, okay. And Joe, of course, too, he's always there saying, you know, this could be something like I see you doing in the future, or like everybody just encourages that we can go somewhere with this. And it's nice to know that, and especially if you love the sport.
How about being part of something special like this, a team going to the state championships, playing in the state championships? What's that about? Like,
it's I think it's pretty crazy. Like you see around your school, like all the signs going up, and like how it's like, oh, the girls golf team, and like you never thought that we would be recognized for something, and then like you're recognized for it, and it's like so cool to see that. And especially like everybody in the district supports like what everyone does, so it's nice to especially have your team really close and like travel together, and like you want to go to states together, so, and you want to win. So
as people read through their standard speakers and that, and they see, oh, the Hazleton area golf team had 3 people finish in the top 3 at the District 2 individual tournament. We read the name, you know, Marin and Grace and Isabel. But Coach has said in the newspaper, and he said here today, this whole roster is pretty talented. I mean, and he said, you know, with pushing for that 4th spot and with just pushing each other at practice. Would you agree with that assessment that there's just talent up and down?
Definitely, because whenever, especially like even when we're in school, like if the teachers see our name in the paper, or like even if they just see our teammates, they're like, oh, I see your teammates are doing well, but I also see like you guys are also excelling, like our names are all in there.
I see that they do, yeah. Every day, it's not the same even every week. There'll be someone else.
They recognize everybody, and everybody tells us congratulations, like for going to states and everything. So it's always nice to hear it, and especially like being with your team and knowing everybody together did it like as one. It's nice to know.
So there's still 2 more years at the Hazleton Area High School for you. How will you sell this program to young women in the Hazleton Area School District? Why would you say come out and sign up for the golf team?
I would definitely say because of the friends I made and how close we are. Like it's so nice to have some of your like bestest friends on the team, especially because me and Jenna, we were like really close before and since like childhood and everything, and we came to the golf team and we didn't think we would be close with anybody else. Like we thought it was just going to be us two on the side,
a little group.
yeah, like us two, but everybody was so welcoming, and especially like Natalie being a senior and she was such a leader. Like we'll definitely try to live up to that and try to get people like to want to join, especially if they're good at golf. We want to have a better team in the future.
Let's keep this legacy going. Well, thank you so much for your time. You guys are busy. They have, a big tournament coming up and that, so thank you very much for your time. We appreciate it. All right, wrapping this up now I probably should have said in the beginning, we are at Edgewood, the golf course down here by Sand Springs. Beautiful, thanking them for having us as well. What a great setting, Dave. You said in the beginning we should do more of these on location. I totally agree. And always impressed. I think we say this almost every Good Sports podcast with our student athletes, but we interviewed pretty much the whole team here today. Everybody's so well-spoken and a lot of fun to talk with from the
You find different things out about people, too, by doing these things, too. And like you said, things you wouldn't know about, what's their favorite dance? Would you know Grace is a competitive dancer? I didn't know there was such a thing as a competitive. I know there are dance studios. People go to dance competitions, but you find out she's a competitive dancer, and you talk about Isabel being the PA voice of Valley West Little League, so it's just fun. And then the other girls falling in ditches and laughing about it. It's neat.
And you could truly tell what a close team this is, how much they really do care about each other. But don't forget, they're also very good at this sport and competitive, and the fact that they can compete with each other too out there, but still be so supportive. And that leads us to our Good Sports moment, where we take a look at local sports and what really impresses us. And Dave, you had a great one, and it comes from the Hazleton area Lady Cougar golf team.
It does. It comes from Maren Dreamock. I mean, obviously, like she said, it stung that she didn't make it to the regional tournament, the state tournament. Finished, a stroke behind her teammates. Didn't make it to the state tournament. Might have made some noise at the state tournament. She didn't make it, but when I saw a picture of her hugging her teammate Grace Babinchak after she did win it, that just told me everything I needed to know about not only her, but her teammates and the program where it's at now. And it just gives you faith in kids that they're being brought up right. Like I said, I know her parents very well too, and a lot of the parents on this squad, and in this area too, and they've raised their kids right. For Marion to overcome that disappointment by feeling genuinely very happy for her teammate, it just warms your heart that there are good people in this world, in this area, and they support local athletics, and Maren Dreamock definitely deserves that.
And Dave, wins and losses, they do come and go, and you could have a bad day in any sport, but character is something that is just always there. And when you're remembered for that, and I think Maren will be in this program, and especially as one that started it, I think that says a lot, and that's something you want to found your program on and build off of. My Good Sports moment, I'm actually two football teams. I want to start with Hazleton area football team. Recently I did a story with them. I was working on a story with the athletic trainers actually that you'll see on Out of Left Field, but I got to talk to some of the athletes, Dave, in the middle of a tough season for them. They've had bright moments. They know they're a young team, but they don't seem happy. I mean, they don't seem happy. They want to win more is what I'm trying to say, but at the same time, they seem like they're enjoying being teammates, and they are enjoying the process, and they're really buying in.
That's what sports is all about.
Yeah, they're not down on themselves. And I even spoke with Matthew Casadas. And Matthew Casadas just, told me, he seemed so confident, and he said how important it was to him to represent his teammates and represent the city of Hazleton. And I thought that was very impressive. And I think the wins will come for this program and this team as they mature and grow up. But that was really cool to see and hear just how much, so they are still working hard and not throwing in the towel and competing against these really tough teams, really tough schedule, but also happy to represent the area. And the other was, I did a story with the Mono area football team. We did a trivia game, and it was something silly, something fun, but to get to know the kids. And we were talking about favorite books, and they talked about the Harry Potter series, and someone who watched that came over to me and said just how impressed he was with them as young men to really open up and take the time to answer these questions, and the respect they had. He kind of watched as we were filming, and he said, the respect they showed you. And I said, this is like this with a lot of our local athletes. That's why we do our jobs. That's why we do this show, to really get them out there. But he was just floored by the captains of the Monoy area football team, and they've been doing pretty good on the field this year too. Dave, at the speaker, you have anything you're working on? You want to preview or anything coming up?
Well, we have, we talked about the golf state championships will be coming up soon. You got league and district cross country meets are coming up. Soccer playoffs. There might be some interest this year in the Hazleton area boys soccer program this year. Most wins that they've had in quite a long time this year. We're going to watch them in the playoffs. Football playoffs coming up for a number of area teams this year. and you just want to watch them continue to grow. Volleyball teams as well. It's just it's a great time of year if you're a local sports fan, and we'll have it all covered. Not only from within the Hazleton area, but with our sister papers, and it's a lot to look forward to over the next couple of weeks.
And look out for, I'm working on, you'll actually see it as this is airing. You can go to our website, ssptv.com. On the latest Out of Left Field episode, I did a story on a local powerlifter named Cassie Kozel. That was really cool, seeing what powerlifters go through and what's really driving her. She's a former Hazleton area athlete, was an outstanding track and field star. Also did a story with the Mono area football team. You'll see that trivia game on the latest Out of Left Field. And I did a story with Bob Gaetano. I followed him around at a cross-country meet, photographer for the Standard Speaker. That was one of the most interesting interviews I've done, Dave. Get to know him on that Out of Left Field. And please, Dave did an article recently on a father and son. I forget if it was in the Sunday paper or when it was, but the father basically started collecting these Cardinal baseball cards for his son. They were getting autographed. One of them is now in Cooperstown, right? One of the cards. Yes. And that's an incredible story, so people should read that, standardspeaker.com, or find an edition somewhere.
Yes, it was in the early October. It was at the start of the baseball playoffs. I thought it would be a good story to tell at that time of year too. And a father collects baseball cards, and like I said, we all collect baseball cards at one time or another. He happened to share it with his son, and send it off to get signed by the different Cardinal players. And long story short, it ends up at Cooperstown in the Hall of Fame, and gets a little recognition for it. But,
who was the baseball player? Who was the major leaguer?
Buddy Schultz. He's a former reliever for both the Cubs and the Cardinals. He played in the late 70s. Had a nice career, and what a gentleman to talk to. He talked to straight shooter, and it was just a fun guy to talk to. And once my interview was over about the story I was working on, we actually talked about the baseball playoffs, what to look forward to, and he's been spot on so far with his predictions in baseball, and he picks the Astros to win the World Series. So as we're taping this, the Astros are in a
push
do or die
game
game.
5. Yep.
They got pushed to Game 5. So a lot to talk about over the next few weeks.
Well, Dave, thank you for your time today. We appreciate it. Remember, you can see Dave on SSP TV almost every week. He tries to get in there on community NEPA news. We do some local sports and national sports commentary. You can read his work in the Standard Speaker and at standardspeaker.com. And, of course, check out some of the stuff I do on local sports on SSP TV and at ssptv.com. And go back and check out some previous episodes of Good Sports, this podcast, because we try to make them where you can listen to them whenever. We just want to get to know some of the athletes and coaches in the area. And, again, you can check out those podcasts at standardspeaker.com and ssptv.com. And until next time, everyone, take it easy and
always be a good sport.
You've been listening to Good Sports with Dave and Ken, brought to you by SSP TV and the Hazleton Standard Speaker.